Hello everybody and welcome to another South Bay Gamers Battle Report. Today we have the Ad Mech running the Lucius Dogma going against some Grey Knights. Running something a little different than I normally do. It's definitely a slightly less competitive list, but just want to kind of try some things I don't normally try out. That being said, let's go over the list. Leading off the battalion is 2 Tech Priest Dominuses. This one right here will be the Warlord, and he will have the Warlord trait of when he repairs something, he gets an additional wound back. This will have the he also had the Autocaicus of Archaeum Land, which allows to reroll the Master Machine's special roll, so that'll be pretty useful there. And they both just have Macro Stubber and Volkite Blaster, nothing special. In the battalion is a unit of Rangers with 1 Transuranic Arquebus with a enhanced data tether, another unit of Rangers with 2 Transuranic Arquebuses with an enhanced data tether on the Alpha, a unit of Vanguard with 2 Plasma Calivers and an enhanced data tether again, a unit of Breachers with their heavy arc rifles and arc claws, and then a unit of Destroyers with their Plasma Calivers and actually gave them Cognis Flamers. That rounds out the troops. Over in the fast attack, I have an Iron Strider Ballistari with a twin Cognis Las Cannon, and then I have a Vanguard, I believe is the one that, Vanguard with a unit of Rust Stalkers with their Transuranic Claws and Razors. However, they're normally kitted out. I don't remember exactly what that is. Then we have a unit of Electro Priests, the close combat ones. There's 5 of them right there, doing some mortal wounds. Hopefully they stay alive. A unit of Infiltrators with Taser Gouds and Flechette Blasters. A unit just a Tech Priest Engineer is the HQ in that slot. And then I didn't have another HQ. I could have ran a Spearhead, but I just chose not to. I have a unit of Castellan Robots, all with their twin Philosopher Blasters, so 3 Philosopher Blasters each. That'll be pretty nasty. And then a unit of Dune Crawlers. I normally run them as neutron lasers, but this time I gave them the Eradication Beamer. Just wanted to try it out, something different. And that is my 1850. We haven't rolled off for mission yet. We'll probably do one of the chapter approved missions, and we will go over the Grey Knights next. Here is 1850, a very nicely painted Grey Knights army. Leading off the battalion is a Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight with a Gatling Silencer and Side Cannon, and his Warlord trait is First to the Fray, because that's what you would run. This is going to be a little bit of a proxy. That's going to be a Tech Marine, just an HQ slot that's going to be healing this knight. We'll go over what that has in a sec. It also in the battalion is a Strike Squad with the Incinerator. Their psychic powers are actually for the Grandmaster is Sanctuary. The Strike Squad has Purge Soul. Both Terminator units have Gate of Infinity. The Paladin Squad will have Hammerhand along with the Apothecary, and then the Ancient will have Vortex of Doom. So again, going over the battalion, I already went over, I don't know if I went over the Strike Squad. We'll just do it again. They just have Stormbolters and an Incinerator. The 2 Terminator squads are exactly the same. They have the Justicar has a Nemesis Demon Hammer, a Side Cannon, both of them exactly the same. A unit of Paladins with a Justicar or the Paragon with the Nemesis Demon Hammer, a Apothecary, and again the Ancient. And last but not least is the Imperial Knight Warden. It's going to have the Adventure Gatling Cannon and the new chapter approved relic. What's it called again?
The Ravager.
The Ravager. So it allows the chainsaw to reroll 1s to hit. Could be pretty useful. And that is 1850 of Grey Knights. Here's a quick shot of the deployment. We have an Iron Strider Ballistari on this side, some Destroyers, unit of Rangers with the Transuranic Arquebus, my Warlord right there, the Electro Priest out front with some Doom Crawlers right behind them and an Engineer, Breachers, some Vanguard with Plasma Calivers, Rust Stalkers, Rangers with Transuranic Arquebuses, Castellan Robots, Last Tech Priest. And on that side, you can see some Terminators right there. 2 Terminator squads actually. The big ass Imperial Knight Warden with a Tech Marine behind him, and then the Strike Squad. And then in reserve, he has all of his Paladins, his Apothecary, the Ancient, and the Nemesis Dread Knight. That is that. All I have in reserve is some infiltrators. Hopefully gonna grab some objectives for me. And we are doing the mission, chapter approved mission called Race to Victory. So now we roll a die, and he will get +1 to see who goes first because he dropped first. I roll 2. You get +1 to this. He rolls a 2, which becomes a 3. So you go first, unless I could seize on a 6. Oh. Ad Mech turn 1, drew Blood and Guts, defend 3, and Rumors of Revelation, which is roll d6 when this tactical objective is generated. Score 1 victory point if you control objective marker that corresponds to that number, and if your warlord controls it, you get d3. I rolled a 1, which ended up being over here. This is where my infiltrators popped up just to grab that early objective, and then we'll likely die after that from some shots from here. See how that goes. For the movement, is moved and advanced some Ruststalkers, moved up the Castle Robots because they couldn't really see anything. That Ranger squad won't really be doing much. This whole side won't really be doing much, so I didn't really move them much. Just kind of kept them in the terrain in waiting for all the deep strikers to come on. These two Doom Crawlers just kind of moved around. The Engine Seers right behind them. I don't know if you can see them over there. And for the most part, everything on that hill stayed still, so I could shoot towards this knight to do hopefully a little bit of damage. The Electro Priest then advanced, and that is my moving phase. Let's go on to shooting phase for Ad Mech turn 1. End of Ad Mech turn 1, I won't score anything besides Rumors of Revelation because my infiltrators came on over there. Other than that, during the shooting phase, not too much happened. He used the stratagem per the chapter approved that rotate Iron Shields, pretty nice relic that allowed him to get a 4-up invo on this turn. And I did 4 wounds from the only thing was the Iron Strider Balustrade last cannon, 4 wounds, so it's down to 20. That's really it. Everything else kind of didn't do too much. The Eradication Beamers, not too much. Kind of like how they get a decent amount of shots, but the Neutron Laser is generally a better weapon choice on them. But again, I wanted to try something different, so we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I will score 1 point, and it'll be on to Grey Knight's turn 1. I will also dump Defend 3 because that is right here next to the Knight and Strike Squad. I know he's going to be moving up, but I don't have any fast moving units to get over there. So again, on to Grey Knight's turn 1. Grey Knight's turn 1, drew Area Denial, Defend 6, and No Witnesses, which is score on victory point if all your opponent's characters are marooned as a casualty. That's going to be a little difficult. I have 3 characters, I believe. For the movement, he moved a couple Grey Knight squads. One ended up gating. We'll go over that in a sec. The Strike Squad moved up. The Knight moved up. It got healed 1 by the Tech Marine. The Grey Knight squad over here gated. Terminator squad over here. The Grandmaster and the Apothecary, the Ancient, and the Paladins all dropped on 9 inches away over here. During the psychic phase, casted Sanctuary and Smite, doing a couple wounds to the Iron Strider Balustrade. That was also done from either the Apothecary or Ancient. I forget which one got it off. One of them failed, so that's why there's only 2 wounds done. And then the Paladins did Hammer Hands, although I have +1 to wound on that. So Objective 6, just so you guys know, is over here, but he decided not to drop over here because there's a lot of firepower on this side. So he wants to kind of concentrate on one side and then go from there eventually. And that was the movement and psychic phase. Let's go on to shooting phase and assault phase for Grey Knight's turn 1. Grey Knight's turn 1. Decent amount of turn. He killed a couple of the destroyers, which was important, leaving that guy on 2 wounds. He rolled morale, rolled a 5, just barely passed because they are leadership 7. The Rangers lost 2 in combat to the Dread Knight, passing 1 for my 6-up invone. It didn't roll so well on the wounding. Everything else kind of shot into the destroyers because again they are a big threat. Obviously the what are they called? The Electro Priests. One died in the Smite that we forgot to mention in the psychic phase, and then got obliterated from rapid fire bolters. They just died from that, no problem. The Adventure Gatling Cannon from the Imperial Knight shot over here, killed 1 and put this guy on 1 wound, so that's good. Pretty important to kill those guys because they are my other anti-tank. And I think that's really all we need to talk about. He didn't roll so well on the charges. Everything he could try to charge into the Iron Strider Ballistari and did not make it, even with reroll or first to the fray. The only thing that did make it was obviously the Dread Knight that I already talked about. Yeah, the Grandmaster. And I think that's it. He will score Air Denial for D3. We already rolled it. He got a 2 because he killed the Electro Priest that were the only thing in 12 inches. So he got 2 points there. And obviously First Blood for killing them. So he has 3 points. I have 1 point onto Ad Mech turn 2. Ad Mech turn 2. Had Blood and Gust from last turn. Drew Defend 5 and no prisoners. 5 was right there where the Dread Knight was in combat with me. I fell back, and as you can see, I shot it during the shooting phase. Sorry, I got a little ahead of ourselves. Hopefully they'll be able to hold that for a couple turns. He will likely shoot them off because he has lots of Stormbolters and stuff. I use a stratagem to shoot this Iron Strider to give it +2 to hit. Shot it into the Knight, but he actually used Rotated Iron Shields, and it paid off because he got a 4 on one of the inbounds, so I didn't do any damage. Everything else shot into the Dread Knight, so at least I killed something for no prisoners. That was fire from Castle Robots. The Arc Rifles actually didn't even wound anything, but the Eradication Beamer did most of the work. Pretty nice there. And I think that's really all we need to talk about. The Rustsuckers advanced. They advanced so they could shoot some. I think they did 1 or 2 wounds. And they advanced as well to get more central to hopefully grab some objectives later on. We'll see how that goes. And that's it. I will score no prisoners and probably dump Blood and Guts. No, I got some assault units. We'll see. I'll debate whether I'm going to discard that later. Either way, on to Grey Knight's turn 2. Grey Knight's turn 2. Drew Defend 6. Actually, I had that from last turn. Drew Advance and Big Game Hunter. Advance he will get because he Gate of Infinity, his 1 Terminator squad out of his deployment zone right there. He also moved up the strike squad, which is out of his deployment zone now, so he'll get that for sure. Big Game Hunter will be killing one of the Doom Crawlers because they have more than 10 wounds. During the movement phase, obviously moving up the Knight, Tech Marine right behind, healing him for 1, so he's at 22. It's like I barely did anything. I already talked about how the Terminators gated up there, right underneath that little area. The other Terminator squad moved up. I think they tried smiting. Yeah, they smited and did 1 wound to them, the Rangers, so 1 guy died there. He also did Psychic Channeling on the Tech Marine. He has Vortex of Doom. Did it on the Doom Crawler because that was the best target, and he has a nice big base to be able to kind of move that Vortex around. So it hit him, doing 1 wound to him, so he has 10 left. He did 2 wounds to the Tech Priest, so he has 3 left, and 1 wound to that Engine Seer over there, because that was the only thing other that was in range, so he has 3 wounds left, the Engine Seer. And then he tried casting Hammerhand on the Paladins, failed, then smited the Ballistari, and then I think he might have also failed on the others, one of the smites. So that was really the psychic phase and movement phase. It's going to shooting phase and assault phase for Grey Knight's turn 2. End of the turn for Grey Knight's turn 2. Shot the Adventure Gatling Cannon into the, what are they called? The Breachers, killed them, which is pretty nice. The Stubber didn't do anything into, I think it was into some Vanguard. Heavy Flamer didn't do anything into some Vanguard. But he did charge into the Doom Crawler, killing that with the Reaper Chainsword, re-rolling ones. The re-roll ones didn't matter, but the Chainsword doing 6 damage a piece killed that thing pretty nicely. Did not blow up. Then he shot a bunch of Stormbolters into the Rangers that were on here because I had Defend 5. And he also shot the Side Cannon into the Destroyers and actually didn't even do a wound to it. He did, however, kill the Iron Strider no problem with the hammer because it does straight 3 damage, and I failed my inbound, so that happened there. Other than that, I don't think anything else made it in combat. This squad tried to charge and in the process took 1 wound from a plasma caliber. Yeah, and then the Imperial Knight piled into the Vanguard because they were within range. I didn't do anything in return, but he locked them up, which is nice, so they won't be able to shoot. That's really the turn. He will score Advance because he got out of his deployment zone, and Big Game Hunter for killing the Onager Doomcaller. So he has 6 points with First Blood.
5.
6 with First Blood.
3, 4, 5, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. 5. You're right. 5, and I have 2 points. On to Ad Mech turn 3. Ad Mech turn 3, I keep forgetting to mention, for Canticles I keep rolling a 1, so that is reroll morale checks just as an FYI. I have behind enemy lines, defend 5 and defend 2. 5 is over here where these infiltrators advanced up to get. Or no, sorry, 5 is here, right where I move the breacher, no, the destroyer and the engine seer, and then the infiltrators are on 2, just barely. And behind enemy lines is obviously get a unit wholly within their deployment zone, which will happen hopefully if those infiltrators stay alive. And for movement, move to the Vanguard out of combat, move the Rust Stalkers up. I'm not really sure where they're going to charge, maybe some Terminators, I'm not sure yet. The Tech Priest moved around, or moved, he healed himself 1 for the Autocaicus Arcanum Relic, and then he healed himself for 1, so he's back up to 5 from those mortal wounds that happened earlier. Doomcaller moved back a bit, and I already showed that they moved up to hopefully grab 5. Probably won't be living with all that nearby. We'll see how that goes. The Robot stayed still, and the Tech Priest moved over just a bit, and the Rangers up here stayed still. On to shooting phase for Ad Mech turn 3. End of Ad Mech turn 3. I will not score anything, but I'm halfway to defending 5, halfway to defending 2. 2 is over there, 5 is over here. During the shooting phase, I killed 3 Terminators. That was all from Castle Robots. I really wanted to put firepower into this guy, but knowing that I won this guy on 5s, I chose to shoot Terminators so I can actually do some damage before. The Doomcrawler actually didn't do too bad. He did 5 wounds in total from him. I rolled a 1 on the Eradication Beamer, then re-rolled it to make it a 6 using a command point. I only have 3 left, by the way. And he is out of command points, so I used the Rotate Ion Shields. I did 5 wounds from that. The Stubber didn't do anything. And then this, what's it called? The Plasma Caliber didn't do anything to the Terminators. The Flamer shot over here didn't do anything. Last Pistol didn't do anything, as expected. The only other thing I had left was this squad of Rangers, and the 2 snipers shot over into the Apothecary because they can target him and didn't do anything. The Rust Suckers were the last thing I had. I killed 1 Terminator in that assault, and in return lost 3. They passed morale. They're not very good. But again, wanted to maybe give him one more last try. That was really my turn. I didn't score anything, and I did forget to mention I have Warlord, so I have 3 points to his 5, so he's halfway to winning. On to Grey Knight's turn 3. Grey Knight's turn 3, drew no prisoners, assassinate, and defend 3. Defend 3 is where his strike squad advanced back. Sorry, these guys are dead. But this strike squad advanced back to hopefully get that, so they're halfway to doing that. Assassinate, which shouldn't be too hard because there's a character here, there's my Warlord right there, and then no prisoners shouldn't be too difficult either. He almost got that already. He smited twice with the Grey Knight, or the Terminators right there, onto the Rust Stalkers, and then also from the Tech Marine, so killed him 1 guy. This Terminator squad smited my Engine Seer, putting him on 2 wounds. The Apothecary, I think was the one, did 1 wound here, and then the Terminators hammer-handed themselves, so they have hammerhand plus 1 wound, pretty nice. Other than that, it's movement and psychic. Let's go on to shooting and assault for Grey Knight's turn 3. Grey Knight's turn 3. He killed the Breacher in assault as well as the Engine Seer pilot, charging into both of them, no problem. Killed the Rust Stalkers, no problem. There's only 1 left with the hammer. And then the Imperial Knight killed the Tech Priest, doing 4 hits, 4 wounds, failing every single one of the saves. Or actually, no, I passed 2 of them. Not that it matters because it does 6 damage. Killed them and piled into the Dogger Doomcaller, so that was basically end of him for that turn. But either way, he won because he scored D3 for no prisoners, which he killed 4 units, the Rust Stalkers, the Breachers, the Engine Seer, and my Warlord. So he rolled a 3, so he got 3 points there, so that gives him up to 8. He also got Assassinate for killing 2 characters, not 3, so that gives him another point. He put him on 9, and then Warlord gave him 10, so that is game. Fun game. Definitely tried something different. I will definitely be going back to the neutron lasers because those are a lot better than eradication beamers, but they're still fun to use every once in a while if you want a less competitive list. Either way, good game, and Grey Knights win. Thanks for watching, guys.